If they start talking about how you're never going to have an electricity bill again, but they're not selling you a battery, then it's a lie.
So one of the things I noticed about the homeowner, obviously that he's a little bit slow. Not mentally, he's all there as far as facilities, but his actual pace and his movement due to injuries and just wear and tear of world. And so as a result, when I'm speaking to him, I'm speaking in a gentle and kind of calm but convicted way during my entire presentation.
When he was talking, there was a little writing on the bottom of the screen that said mirror their pace. And so what salespeople learn to do and what they're taught to do is use psychological tricks like mirroring their pace to try to get engaged with the conversation more. He's also walking through the person's house. He's kind of intrusive in the house, and he's doing that to try to get the homeowner's guard down, to show that he's a friend.
Years to get a return on your investment, and you hope you get the ROI on it, right, at that point. Because both of those parties can't really benefit from a $12,000 tax credit because you don't pay that amount. Right. So essentially, there's no lien on the property, there's no upfront payment, and most importantly, you don't have to take some 25-year 8% interest loan. They cover the cost of installing the system, and it eliminates your utility bill.
Okay.
The hope on it is obviously it's less money than what you're currently spending.
He's trying to sell what's called a PPA, a power purchase agreement or a lease. And it's different from a loan because the property, the solar panels, don't transfer ownership. They stay with the solar company. This sales pitch that we hear all the time from these salespeople, that the panels will pay for themselves and you won't have an electricity bill, is just a complete lie. In every case that I've ever seen in solar, it is 100% false. People still have electricity bills and they have to pay the solar loans, and the salesmen are just flat out lying to them.
They have a certain amount of houses that they're technically allowed to do it with because of the federal funding. $3 billion sounds like a lot. There's a lot of houses in Florida.
Yeah.
And that's a nationwide thing, so it's like that's going to tuck down quick, and then it'll go back to being loans and cash, and it's not going to make sense for certain people. What I'm doing here is being very proactive. I can sense from the body language, the health of the clients, and just the general vibe that there's a good chance, just like earlier when they mentioned to me that 3 other people they've already kicked out of the house, that I'm going to really have to emphasize that we have to do this today, because we have to create that level of exclusivity and scarcity in the conversation, right? You do a lot of different pullbacks. Hopefully we can get this done today. And as you'll see we progress, we're going to have to really layer this well to make it come off like I could go without giving you solar at all. And also, we need to sign you up for solar today or else.
This clip with the number 10, create urgency, is a common sales trick to try to create urgency in the buyer, because that's the only way to motivate people, is to try to create some urgency. As a salesperson, if you're trying to create urgency by just flat out lying to the customer, that's illegal. They fabricate the urgency and create lies, like if you don't get on this today, then you're going to lose out on this deal. None of that's true.
Now, here's the real stinger that I'm going to do right here. I'm going to show her that we're a broker company. We're working with 6 other potential installers in Florida. Why am I doing that? To ensure that she knows that we're choosing the option that's best for her house. Why are we doing that? To ensure that afterwards she doesn't think, I need to go find a better deal somewhere else. We're literally tailoring this project for her in mind. This is the only way that this is going to make sense. You've already chatted with other solar people. You didn't like them. You like me. Let's go ahead and move forward.
All right, so this clip where we just saw him talking about how they're a broker for the installer. If he tells the homeowner that he works with multiple installers, the homeowner is going to think that it's a legitimate. The truth is there's tons of installers out there, but a lot of them are unlicensed. They don't know what they're doing. They ruin the panels. They don't wire it correctly. And again, he's playing psychological tricks with the homeowner to try to get the homeowner to feel more secure in the urgency of the sale that he's developing through lies. This deal is a very complicated financial agreement, and it overwhelmingly hurts the homeowner. And so if the salesman is coming to your home, don't feel a sense of urgency. If they start talking about how you're never going to have an electricity bill again, but they're not selling you a battery, then it's a lie. If they're talking about a tax credit and you're on fixed income with Social Security, or you make less than $100,000 a year, you're not eligible for the tax credit most likely. You don't make enough income to have enough credit to cover what they're selling. So that's a lie. They've got a bunch of traps in the contract, including arbitration agreements. The arbitration agreement is itself part of the scam because it keeps it private and doesn't allow the public to see how many people they're defrauding. Take your time if you're actually thinking about doing something and getting a contract like this, and don't be afraid to ask questions and hold these people to account when they make promises that seem outlandish, like you're never going to have an electricity bill again. If you have a case like this, or you know somebody that has a case like this, tell them to call Bennett Legal. Get on our website, bennettlegal.com, fill out the form, and so that we can do a free consultation. We'll find out if we can help you and try to hold these companies accountable for what they've done.